I have been talking about Kyle Rittenhouse, and I know you, obviously, with your coverage, you have been covering that story since the beginning, since the inception. Recently, yesterday, he announced that he wants to have the gun that he used to kill 2 Black Lives Matter protesters. He wants to have that gun destroyed. Now, I want to play the full segment. It's a segment from our friend over at the Damage Report, John Iadarola, with the TYT network, as he breaks down this newfound, whatever this is that Kyle Rittenhouse is doing, because I'm sorry, I have a hard time believing that he wants to destroy the gun out of compassion and empathy and those good things. To me, it seems like he might be setting himself up for a book deal. We'll get to that in a minute. Here's a clip of Kyle Rittenhouse discussing why he wants to get rid of the gun and the way this country celebrates a 2-time murderer.
For Kyle Rittenhouse.
Kyle. This is your gun, right?
That's my rifle.
Yeah, that is yours, right?
That we're having destroyed right now. We don't want anything to do with that.
Oh, wow.
Kyle Rittenhouse, in the wake of his multiple killings, his public image, he wanted to assure you that your beliefs that you might have immediately had about him politically are not true. This doesn't really represent who he is. You think that he's some sort of white supremacist or that this was an ideological thing. That's not true at all. Of course, he then went and did a documentary with Tucker Carlson, and he's appeared on every like caveman right-winger show and podcast and all that in the country. So what's next for him? Apparently, if you thought he might want to be moving on from this whole thing and not having it define his existence, maybe not. He's apparently considering writing a book about his unorthodox journey into adulthood. And by that he means the time he decided to go and shoot people. His spokesperson, which he has, says that there are preliminary internal discussions about him writing a book. Read that as another person writing a book and him signing off on it. He's not literally going to write one single word about himself. They said it will most likely be a story of a young man's very unorthodox journey into adulthood, what it took to make it, and the lessons he learned along the way. What do you mean what he took to make it? He took a gun he shouldn't have had to a protest and shot people. He learned some lessons about how to make money off of killing people. He definitely learned that.
The lessons he's learned is how to be a good right winger. And people are like, hey, you got to do some way to make sure you capitalize off of this attention. So since you're catering to old conservatives, you have to write a book. What is it about what Kyle Rittenhouse would write or someone else would write in his name would make you think, hey, this guy has lots to say that I'd like to hear?
Now, that second voice was JR from the TYT network and the Damage Report. Everything that they said, I agree. I think it is rooted in the book. But Georgia, to me, what stands out is the fact that after this man killed those 2 Black Lives Matter protesters who were white, but they were protesting on behalf of Black life. After he killed them, he started getting enough donations to be able to hire professional publicists, to be able to hire people who could do press releases, to not only that, to get the attorneys that he needed to get away with murder. So it just reminds me of, if you kill people in this country, and you don't even have to kill Black people anymore, you just got to kill people who agree with Black people, you still come out like a hero and get millions of dollars.
Yeah. And it's deeply disturbing that here we are in 2022 and you have Rittenhouse who can basically take a page out of the book of the killers of Emmett Till, and it still works in this nation. I've been following the series Women of the Movement on ABC over the last few weeks and just learning more about the trial surrounding those who were charged with Emmett's death. And we know today that nobody was ever charged for his kidnapping or his murder. And the gaslighting and everything that happened to his mother, who stood up and said by any means necessary, she was going to fight for justice for her baby boy. And here with Rittenhouse, I mean, he literally has done the same exact thing that those men did decades ago, and it still works in this country. And so at what point, and it's not because Black people have especially in the last 2 years, stood up and said that systematically there are things within the systems around us that are continuing to oppress us, that are continuing to produce inequities. At what point is white America going to wake up and say that we want to foster a different type of society? I mean, it made me sick to see that two-time killer on stage being celebrated like he's a superstar, but that's right. The society in which we live in. We have fostered spaces where people with these radical ideologies that feel like violence against Black people or violence against people who agree with Black people is okay. We're fostering these environments. And so what do you think is going to come from it? And it's a direct response to Trump having been in office, I think.
I absolutely agree. DJ exclusive. I don't know if you don't see it on my side, but I have to confess the legends are true. Rebecca Azor is here to join us in this conversation. That might be the earliest I've ever seen her, but this is an important conversation. I'm such an asshole. Y'all forgive me. I want to bring Rebecca into the conversation. It is a serious conversation. DJ exclusive, one of the first things you said when you saw that clip, before it even got 30 seconds into the clip, you immediately said how disgusting it was. But what blows me away is we can clearly see that the way they celebrate Kyle Rittenhouse in this country is absolutely disgusting. But to them, it's like they feel like they're on the right side of history, bro.
Like I said, it's absolutely disgusting. But I mean, unfortunately, it makes sense. This is the country that we live in, that they celebrate the killers of those that support Black people and black movements. So the way they celebrated that man and cheering his name on like he's some national treasure when he's a national POS. And if you don't know what that means, then I'm sorry. I can't tell you what it means. So, but figure it out.
No, we're on this show.
Not a piece of sugar.
Pounds of sugar.
Not a piece of sugar.
Rebecca Azor is with us early in the morning, sis. I know we're going to bring you in a moment, Rebecca, as soon as we get you on the screen, but we hear your voice. How you doing this morning, sis?
I'm doing good. Look, I ain't know. Okay. Hey, guys. Glad to be on the clock today.
Yes. It is so good to see you.
Good to see you.
She's like, I'm awake. I'm waking up.
She says, trust me.
Everything was wrong over here. I'm looking at my mic. I'm like, you guys can hear me? Because I didn't know what was happening.
We heard everything, sis. We heard it all. Everything. But thankfully, we were talking.
Yeah.
But listen, Rebecca, thank you so much for joining us early. It is Freedom Friday. We're blowing away the borders. No borders across the shows this morning. We're talking obviously about Kyle Rittenhouse. The other part of this is how professional sounding his PR team is. I don't know. Do we have that B-roll or the actual language, David, from his publicist? Because now the language coming out of team, he's got a whole team. Say that again, David.
That one did. This one didn't have that B-roll.
Okay, so Kyle Rittenhouse has a whole team now. His family has spokespeople now, right? And I'm not wealth or whatever. That's fine. If you're rich, whatever, we'll talk about that. But I am disgusted with the fact that his wealth, Rebecca, is rooted in the fact that he killed people supporting Black lives. Now, that's why he has publicists. That's why he has attorneys. He's wealthy now because of how he treated people supporting Black lives.
Yeah, he murdered them, and he was supported by white evangelicals who, like, upon other people, Karens, all of them, like all these white groups who wanted to protect this person because this person was saying that, the country is browning. The Black people are out of control. And we need to, get them in order. And this young fella did a noble thing in the name of America and went out and killed two white people but went out and killed 2 allies. And
right.
for them, he was doing the work. He was doing the work of God. He deserved, repentance. He deserved forgiveness. And it was their job to get him that. Now, there are so many black folks in jail right now for minor things that can't even see a judge, can't get any assistance, can't get anything. This man, Kyle Rittenhouse, was in jail for like 2.5 seconds, got out, became a celebrity, is writing a book. Every time he steps out, he's being praised. It's not shocking to see, because I've seen this in other areas with other people. Like people could work with Donald Trump, that 1 second, and then go write a book and be so famous. This is the effect that things are happening now. But I don't know if I'm pissed to see it, or if I'm pissed that I already expected that this would happen. It shouldn't be normal. This should not be every day. I don't like it. And look how he aged. Remember when they were trying to make him meek and humble, and then young, and still got milk on the tongue. Remember that? That was just like a few weeks ago.
That's right.
And now here he is on the stage, and he's giving us grown ass man 5 kids. A trust fund kid. Like, this is
trust fund. Yeah,
trust fund kid. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's right. Sister Ford, sound like you were about to jump in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to find the words for it because it's deeply disturbing and sickening. That we've arrived at a place as a society where someone who kills someone is celebrated. Right. I mean, it's just that simple. I mean, where is the moral values that we used to uphold in this country? And maybe we never fully did, right? But we strived for that. And I feel like there was a period of time in this country where we were fighting for that. And it feels like our morale as a society has continued to erode and diminish